The tsunami devastated uncountable lives and properties. Especially the impoverished fishing communities along the Andaman coast of Thailand, which were seriously affected. The huge waves swallowed numerous lives, destroyed thousands of houses, fishing tools were lost, and community life collapsed. Amid grief and despair, several government agencies, private concerns and NGOs, both domestic and international, moved to render urgent assistance in an unprecedented coordinated effort. The Royal Thai government promptly helped solve people's immediate problems, with several relief centres set up along the Andaman coast, while aids were mobilised to initially ease the plight of victims. However, the assistance remained inaccessible and sometimes inappropriate to the poor and vulnerable, and also for many of the cultural minority groups, such as Muslims and Sea Gypsies. It is in light of this gap that support for rehabilitation of traditional communities project was formulated by Community Organisation Development Institute in collaboration with Chum Chom Thai Foundation, UNDP, UNESCO and UN Habitat. In the ensuing turmoil and despair, small flickers of hope emerged one by one and spread across the Andaman coast. In many places, villagers came together to form a group, seeking ways to revive the community and the people's livelihood by themselves. At the same time, several NGOs joined forces to assist and support the operation of people's groupings.
The UNDP's role was really to look at the longer-term recovery of these communities, livelihood recovery in the fishing sector, and helping communities get back on their feet. And we're also trying to facilitate good interaction between community, local government, other agencies. So we're like an honest broker.
The project provided support to residents of Ban Nam Kem in their management system from the start at Bang Mueang Temporary Relief Centre, creating the consultation process for the recovery and rehabilitation of the community and the planning of future life together, with the setting up of Villagers Committee to administer the centre. Moreover, support was provided for the setting up of the People's Saving Groups and career development. Cash donations received by the people were set as revolving funds for career development, creating numerous alternative careers for the people apart from fishing as their familiar way of life.
The most challenging process was the way communities were able to be combined, the way it allowed people to create an organization. People wandered, ran for their lives. Those individuals had spread all over around the area. However, the important challenge of this story was the way communities are able to come together as a whole and created power of an organization, daring to think, to act, and to do things together.
Tsunami not only destroyed a lot of lives and property in communities along the coast, but also unleashed the many problems related to land tenure, which for the long time appeared to be forgotten or hidden. Many of the tsunami-affected villages were impoverished fishing communities. Villagers have lived on the sea for hundreds of years. Most of them built their homes on public land under the jurisdiction of various government agencies. They have no land title deeds. Some places were under conflicting claims. Victims therefore joined together as the network of affected communities in 6 provinces to push for the solving of land problems at a policy level and jointly propose solutions to various organisations, including the National Centre to Fight Poverty and the National Human Rights Commission. The subcommittee surveyed the areas under dispute with some support from the project.
We also try to help the Thai authorities and the communities look at this difficult issue of land disputes, land rights. Sensitive issue, but I think we did a good job. Could we have done more? Of course we could have done more. It was a huge disaster, a big challenge, and we will never be satisfied. But I think we did quite well in supporting the Thai people, the Thai communities and the Thai government to respond.
The survey found that several villages encountered land problems, mostly those in public land, and is ongoing as land disputes remain a complex issue. The subcommittee role was to verify the right of land tenure. It was found that in many places, people lived in the areas long before government authorities demarcated the sites as public land. Thus, negotiations were made to request some parts of the area as villagers' habitat. In some areas, villagers moved in to occupy the land later. Government units issued letters of permission and title deeds for land outside the survey. Presently, problems concerning land in the jurisdiction of the government in many places have been solved. Disputes on private land are also on the rise here. The issues relate to private owners stating claim on land which communities have been traditionally living on. There were several other communities where people lived in the area for many decades. After the tsunami, those who claimed to own the land would not allow them to move back and rebuild their homes. The project provided legal support and assisted villagers in verifying their rights, and also supporting communities to prepare documentation, plans and proposals, which forms part of their submission to the committee, collecting evidence that indicated the existence of the community, including accounts on history of the place, holy sites, trees and cemetery, to fight the cases in court. Several communities are in the legal process with their cases pending in court. For plots of land that solutions were reached, support was given for the construction of housing, with the people's participation in deciding their own habitat, from choosing the site area, designing the house and drawing up community layout in accordance with the people's lifestyle and needs. They even built the houses themselves. The capacity building plan for local government organisation was implemented alongside the livelihood recovery of tsunami-affected communities. According to the work plan, the local government organisation is motivated to use its existing skills and resources for effective operation in response to the needs of local people, with the people's participation as much as possible. The project played a part in the learning process of the community through training and seminars for villagers to share experiences, enabling them to draw up projects in response to people's needs with full public participation. The community dockyard of local administrative organisation of Naka, Ranong province, came from the needs of most villagers who were engaged in fishing and wished to learn boat mechanics, to solve their immediate problems and to have their own repairing centre for fishing boats. The garbage disposal project of local administrative organisation of Bangwan, Pangar province, emerged from the awareness of villagers of the need to live in a garbage-free community, as they learnt about health hazards caused by waste. The Nature Study Trail in the Mangrove Forest project of local administrative organisation of Gok Kokau, Pangar province, meanwhile, came from the community's learning process, with a heightened awareness of the importance of the mangrove area, which helped save numerous lives in the tsunami. They also came to realise that the mangrove forest served as a large supermarket for them to find food and commodities throughout their lives. They inculcated the awareness in young people so that they would be the main force of conservation in the future. A community means more than a group of houses that exist together, as it includes lifestyle, culture, tradition, faith and beliefs that bind residents as a unit and as a strong community. The tsunami not only devastated community life, but also wiped away certain culture and traditions. The recovery of community life therefore means the recovery and maintenance of local culture and traditions. Several local communities started to search for their roots and revive them for the sake of community members. The Muslims of Saidam Island community revived a folk performance called Kapyong and transferred to the young generations by including it in the school curriculum. The Rongneng music of residents of Koh Muk could again be heard and to be preserved for posterity, recorded as CDs. The boat floating ceremony of the Sea Tribe of Lanta Island was revived and highlighted as the basis of the people's lifestyle. They also added knowledge and local wisdom of the Sea Gypsy of Lipet Island into the curriculum, to make children knowledgeable and proud of their own heritage. Experiences and lessons learned in the process of livelihood recovery for the tsunami-affected communities had been related and linked among disaster-hit communities across the country. Members came together, shared their views on obstacles and problems faced by various communities, some with successes, some with failure, and some about to move.
One very important lesson learned for everybody is that the recovery process must be driven by the people, by the communities themselves. It doesn't work to come top down and provide assistance and organize projects and programs without really good, meaningful consultation, because the real experts in the recovery are the people who are affected. So to get that kind of good process going right from the start, to make sure that people are in control over the recovery and that everybody else government, NGOs, UN, we all support the communities.
They were keenly aware that they needed to depend on themselves and decide their own fate. Experiences taught them to coexist with nature and the environment. They became proud of their culture and local wisdom that made them a community. All these elements are cited as contributing to their sustainable existence, no matter how many natural disasters would occur in the future.
Modern development must be based on citizens to see how to solve problems so that they could stand on their own feet and could manage their own lives strongly and systematically. If we focus on the citizens, bureaucratic system of government sectors might be more understanding and might invent methods that support communities and people so that they could stand on their own feet.